Howdy, I'm Robert Kay. The channel is, you saw what the channel is, didn't you? And this morning, I've already forgotten what I was going to talk about. Let me just flip over to that. Okay. Thoroughly amateur production, right? And you probably hear the chair creaking as I turn. More thoroughly amateur stuff. But this is Whiskey for Beginners. I drink whiskey. And there are a lot of people who drink whiskey who also drink tequila and rum, and my brain's going fluey, wine, all sorts of things. And I don't. And I don't condemn them, not by any means. Whatever you like. I don't just eat hamburgers. I also eat enchiladas and various other things. So nothing wrong with drinking other things. But I don't. And minor detail, you probably have no interest whatsoever, but why don't I? You don't care about this question, but I'm going to answer it for you. Why am I imposing this on you? Well, for one thing, you can always not watch the video. However, if you do like it, please click the like button. And of course, if you want to subscribe and all that, as Lawrence Brown says on the Lost in the Pond channel, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, do that now. He does it so much better than I do because he's originally from England. But why don't I drink this other stuff? Well, it has a lot to do with my budget. I can't afford to buy much. And by the time I keep myself in whiskey, the budget's gone. And I look at the prices of some of these things. Tequila, good tequila at any rate, you can always get Jose Cuervo for cheap, or Jose Cuervo, not Dottie West, her daughter, and I can't remember the first name, Kitty West? Anyway, she had a song years ago, Jose Cuervo, you are a friend of mine. Good country song. But, you can get the cheap tequila for cheap. I've tried Jose Cuervo, the white and the especial both, which I believe is añejo, but it might be reposado. And that terminology, don't worry about it. If you really are interested, you can always go look it up. But I've tried them. The silver Jose Cuervo was okay. Kind of like the Jim Beam, I would say, of tequila. But the especial, the brown version with the gold label, that was nasty. And you would think that being in a barrel would make it better, but in that case it didn't. But I'm sure there's tequila out there that's much higher quality, but as I look at the prices, I say, sorry, Charlie, no can do, GI. Rum, I haven't even looked at prices. I've realized that on my budget, there's just so much whiskey out there to try, so much whiskey I already know I like, that it's pointless even considering, at least at present. Maybe one of these days I'll decide, okay, I've done enough with whiskey on my budget. Let me turn my focus to rum or tequila or whatever else it may be. And for some reason, those two and vodka are the only things that are popping into my head. And I'm not even going to mess with vodka. You can flavor the stuff, but basically to make vodka, you distill the stuff at such a high proof that all or almost all of the flavor is gone from what comes off the still. And that's why they have to flavor it. But whiskey, you've got the flavor from the grains still there. Buffalo Trace White Dog is full of flavor, and it's never spent a minute in a barrel. And then you put whiskey in a barrel, and the interaction with the wood it takes away some of the grain flavor and adds in flavor from the wood. And so it has flavor naturally. You don't have to add anything. Although there are people who like whiskey with apple flavor or honey or peanut butter or what have you. Y'all can have it. The good stuff is so good on its own. But the day may come when I look at rum or I look at tequila or I look at what have you. But right now, I'm enjoying whiskey so much and my budget is so limited that I'm sticking with whiskey. I'll be honest, even if I could afford to just buy whatever I please, there's so much whiskey out there and so many new whiskeys, whether expressions of an existing brand or a new brand or a whole new distillery popping up all the time. I could probably drink nothing but whiskey for the rest of my life and never try it all, even if I could afford to buy umpteen bottles at a whack. So much whiskey, so little time. And so if you ever were faintly curious about this totally irrelevant question, you now have the answer. And so I lift up my fake glass to you and I say, here's mud in your eye.